Hey, welcome back to Creation Depot. My name is Wendy Literal, and today we're going to be talking about how to choose colors for your company, for your brand, for your business, for your website, for your cards, all those good things, and how to go about it, how to figure it out. With anything with marketing, the answer is it's not about you, it's about what your customers want. And I am certain you have heard that before because it's true, and everybody starts with that. And the truth is that when you go to choose out your colors, you really want to choose things that are going to appeal to the people that are buying from you or that you're trying to attract. Now, like whether you're a nonprofit and you're just trying to get information out there, trying to disseminate information, or you are someone that's trying to exchange services, or you're trying to sell a product or an ebook or whatever it might be, you know, you might really like hot pink and it might be your thing. It's mine. I love pink. It might not be people that you want to look at. Like typically, like, and I'll give you some generalizations. It's something like, let's see if I can pop it up on the screen here. Hopefully it'll like a blip. There it is. Yay. It's something like 50% or more of the population loves blue, and then the secondary colors come after that, right? Whether you're male or female, generally speaking, this is the color palette kind of thing that you want to look at, which is just why you see so much blue and a lot of, like, if there's all these businesses that have blue, like blue, 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 blue. Everybody likes blue. If you look at the apps on your phone and you look at the icons in the apps, go through and just see how many of them are blue. It's kind of weird, right? But that's the reason behind it, is because mentally the blue wavelength, and I won't get into all the science stuff about it because that's not what you're here for. You're here to figure out color palettes. The blues, it's trust, loyalty, peace, compassion, like all those things. Those are the thoughts that come to us when we think of blue, and it's because of the way that our brains interpret the wavelength. There's a whole bunch of science behind it, like I said, but that's the why, right? That's why blue is like such a popular color. If you don't know what you should go after, start with blue. Blue is your base. Use blue, start with blue. Blue's a good thing. Yay, blue. All right, but let's get some starting points. So when you're trying to choose your color palette, the first thing you want to do is you want to go check out your competitors. And you may be a brand new business and maybe you don't know who your competitors are, and maybe you don't know, like, or maybe you have something really unique and it's not a big deal. Then you're going to be checking out your industry. What is your industry doing? And you're going to find, and I will tell you this up front, you will find all the colors. What you're looking for is which colors happen more often than other colors. And for example, if you're in the healthcare industry, our friend blue makes another appearance, right? A whole bunch of blue, 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 right? If you are in something of a louder or a trendier or more modern, you're going to see more magentas, more like T-Mobile, for example, right? That really bright pink. So, like, you know, just the more modern, hip companies, you're going to see those spouts of like bright greens or like the bright reds, the pinks, the you don't, some bright oranges, not as often, you know, and you don't see, like, I don't know, bright yellows, like highlighter yellows, like even they are not that common. So it kind of goes again in that vein. And the idea is to figure out what happens most often, necessarily what your competitor's doing. And you're in a construction company, and let's use CAT, the big, they make a whole bunch of like really big, like, earth mover machines, right? If you go out and you look at it and they've got that specific like yellowy orange, like that burnt yellow, right, color, that's a very specific color. And if I'm one of these companies and I've built these machines, I don't want to use their color. You'll notice that, like, the tractor companies, like we have the John Deere green, and we have like the Husqvarna, I said it right, orange, and what's that other one? Black & Decker, it's orange, but it's a different kind of orange, you know, and that kind of thing. And they use orange and black, you know. So, and I think there's a third one, Ryobi, which uses the blue. So you notice that each of these big companies, and I'm started to go into like power tools there, but my thought process is here is that you see, I totally messed that up. I'm just realizing, yeah, but you got the John Deere green, you got the CAT with the burnt orange, and Farmall doesn't exist anymore. What's that other one? The big red one. But anyway, there's a red one. And so like that's my point, is that you've got all these companies each have kind of like claimed a color. And it's not that you can't use those colors, right? Like colors are not copyright. What is that if you come out looking exactly like them, you know, like if you try to pass yourself off as like a knockoff of them, that's a problem. So example, if I came out and I was using John Deere green, well, they can't claim that color green, but they can claim that color green with this font and this other stuff, right? And, you know, I am not a lawyer, and of course I have to say that, but I mean, I think you know that if you come out pretending to be John Deere, you're going to get in trouble. You know, like that's just sense, right? Common sense. But what you're doing though is that you're looking at these industries to see what is the theme here. The theme in this instance is that everybody's kind of claimed a color. Now, if you're a much smaller business, which I'm guessing you are, you know, you're looking at things like I said, the healthcare industry uses a lot of blue. Well, then you might want to consider using blue. But maybe because everybody uses blue, and this is where we start to like figure out our color palette, is that maybe instead of just using blue, maybe we use blue and, you know, a streak of orange. Or maybe we use blue with an accent color of pink, which would be weird. But, you know, we use blue, but then we use a lot of white with it, you know, or, you know what I mean? Like you can start building on that base. Your blue is your base, but then you start to go onto it. So once you've done your homework and you've looked around and you kind of see what seems to be happening more, and it's really useful if you just like create like yourself like a little chart and you go to a website. Okay, this one uses blue, this one uses red, okay, this next one uses green, and then it uses red. Well, now I've got 2 tally marks in the red. It seems simple, but the truth is that, you know, you're just trying to get like what has the most tally marks, and then from there you'll take that information and you go to the next part where you start to build out your color palette. Now that you've checked out the competition, you're going to want to go to a place like mycolor.space or design-seeds.com, or I'll be honest, probably the best place you can go is just go to Google Images, images.google.com if you want to go there directly, or you can go to google.com and click on images and type in blue color palette. And I know that seems really simple because it kind of is. And then what you'll get back is a sea of all these color palettes that other usually professionals, have put together. But when you're looking at them, you want to be like, all right, I really like this blue color palette. This one speaks to me. And this is the part where you can let a little personal preference get in the way here, because the truth is that the right color palette is the one that you are going to use, the one that you're going to stick with, because what this color palette are just a little bit like logos. Whatever you choose, you're not stuck with it forever, but you're stuck with it for a while because you're using that to establish your brand identity. So as you're building up your brand identity with other potential customers and people get to know you, they're going to remember colors and they're going to remember shapes, i.e. the logo, you know, like they're going to remember certain things about your business, or that you had a certain font, or, you know, like little things that stand out to them. I mean, you can think of a dozen in your own life that you know, oh, well, you know, that green is totally this bar I always go to, or, you know, or that yellow and green is George Mason University, you know, like you start to pick up little things associated with certain names, like little namesakes, right? So whatever you choose, you want to make sure that you are comfortable with it, because you're going to be stuck with it for a while. You personally are going to be stuck with it for a while. So you want to make sure you like it. So this is where you can let a little personal preference creep in here, because you already know your base color, right? Your base color is going to be, in our example, blue, and then you're going to pile on certain things on top of it. That makes sense. Now, where you can use like a little like professional knowledge here is that, okay, well, now that I've done this homework and I can see, you know, what my what my competitors are using, or what my industry really likes to use. From here, you can say, okay, what isn't being used, right? Well, I know people aren't seeming to, like, we'll pretend, right? We'll say we have a blue base, but let's say, you know, I don't see a lot of orange in this at all, right? So what can I do with that? I can go ahead and maybe add orange as my accent color to my blue color palette. All right, well, now I can type into Google, you know, or one of these color arrangement things and type in like, you know, blue and orange color palettes. And then what you'll get is all these secondary colors that you can use, right? So you've got your main base blue, but then you've got your main accent color orange, and now you've got these filler colors. And these filler colors will help you flesh out a more dynamic website. For example, like let's say we're using this color palette to build a website, you'll be able to know what your icons above your text should be, what color they should be. You'll know when you're looking for photos, what kind of photos would go best with what color palette, because you'll know, oh, I got a blue color palette, you know, maybe I can find corresponding pictures that will go well with this layout, you know, that kind of thing. You'll have these accent colors that will help you fill in the gaps and just make it a lot easier for you to decide when you're writing out your blog post, or you're writing out your text, or you're writing out or fleshing out the layout of your stuff, what color buttons should be, what color your drop-down menu should be, what color your header should be, what color your footer should be. Like, having these extra colors will really help. But you've established your main color and you've established your accent colors based on your research, so you can feel strong about it, you can feel good about it. But now you also have these extra colors to kind of help you fill in the gaps, right? Now, I will tell you, I mentioned 2 websites. The mycolor.space is good. The design-seeds.com, the content is amazing. They've updated their website and it now sucks. So I would say if you really, but their content is amazing, right? But like I said, I really hate the new website. It's terrible. You can't find stuff, and by color palette, it's not good. So what I would suggest is type in design space seeds and then the color palette. So like design space seeds. We're typing into Google now, right? Design seeds blue color palette. You know, and then you could type in orange too if you wanted to bring back that. And then what you'll get is an amazing array of images about that use the Design Seeds website. It will still bring that back. I've done this many times. This works great. But then you'll get just her content with it's a lady that runs it, like just her content with the right color palettes, and it's phenomenal. It's great, and you'll be just blown away by the sheer number of color palettes that come back, and they're all based on pictures, real life, so nothing is jarring. And that's what I think is so great about it, because she went through and she made all these color palettes based on all these amazing photos, this photography, and because she did it this way, there's nothing that you're looking at and you're like, oh my God, those colors don't go together, which is the main problem a lot of new business owners run into. They're like, well, I don't know if this is going to work, you know? Do these colors go together? I'm not a creative. I don't understand that, you know, like that kind of thinking. You can't go wrong because it came out of a real life scenario, right? Like the colors go together because they're all pulled from nature, or they're pulled from a very cohesive setup or a really good design. So it's going to be good no matter what you do. So that's my suggestions for you. First, do your competitor search, then figure out what accent colors you need, and then you have your starter base and you have your accent color, and from there you can figure out your color palette by what appeals to you and what you're going to feel comfortable going with long term. As long as you got a really good base and a really good accent color, the rest is kind of gravy. So I hope this has been helpful. If it has, I would really implore you to subscribe. I gotta get the subscriber count up. It really makes a huge difference to YouTube. I can't even begin to tell you. Otherwise, like and comment. If you can just comment a thanks, Wendy, it is literally like leaving a virtual tip, because what ends up happening is that YouTube shows the video to more people, more AdSense gets run on it. So it's like literally you're helping me get that extra tip from AdSense. So I really appreciate those. It really helps out. And yeah, if you subscribe, I'd love to have you. We have more and more videos like this are coming out. So I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.